Hello, my name is Coach Shanae from Academic Coaching for World Changers. I'm here today to review a quick question with you where we will review information from Piaget. Before we get started, I would like to remind you to please check us out on YouTube. At our YouTube site, you will see many videos with a variety of different topics that can help you along your journey to get prepared for your test taking. You can also find us on our website, academiccoachingforworldchangers.com. There you will see a lot of our other topics and content, and you can see our different coaches and determine which coach is best for you and has the best needs to fit fulfilled for you. Remember to please check us out on YouTube and like and subscribe. Before we get started, I also want to remind you of how we learn at academic coaching. We like to remind you that this information has to be remembered. You have to remember that we need to study at least 4 hours a day. We suggest 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening. And a lot of the information you'll be repeating and remembering. And remember to make lists for yourself and memorize the information. You'll find yourself in your car listening to the information, repeating the information to your children, to your spouse. Part of that is how you will learn this information. You will begin to understand it. You will need to be able to explain it. You will be able to translate that information. That's how you know you are beginning to learn it. You apply it to your everyday life. You'll find yourself at work using the information, and then you analyze it, evaluate it, create it, and make it your own. Use of Bloom's taxonomy is how we know we're learning our information. So I'll begin with the question. The question that we'll review today, I'll read it to you. If you need to pause and reflect, feel free to do so. A social worker is counseling a family concerned about their 8-year-old's interest in rules, structure, and fairness. Which stage of Piaget's cognitive development does this align with? Concrete operational, formal operation, or pre-operation? Remember, this is a reading test, so I'm going to help you break this question down. First up, we have to ask ourselves, what is this asking us? Remember, this is a reading test. So we know, as I said earlier, we will be focusing on Piaget today. So when we think about Piaget, we're going to ask ourselves about what does he say about cognitive development? How children learn. And so we know Piaget has a sensory motor stage from 0 to 2, where children are curious about the world. Language is used for demand and cataloging. Object permanence is developed here. Pre-operational, age 2 to 7. Symbolic thinking, use of grammar, syntax to express thoughts, imagination, and intuition is strong. Concrete operational, here it is about age 7 to 11, where concepts are attached to concrete situations. Time, space, and quantity are understood and can be applied. Lastly, his last stage is formal operation, 11 and older. Here is where theoretics, hypothetical, and counterfactual thinking begins to emerge. So we'll go through each one of these together. During our sensory motor stage, this is the age of 0 to 2. During this stage, we know that children are learning through their senses. They have to develop their 5 senses here, learning through taste, touch, smell. The 5 senses are happening here, and this is how they're learning. In this picture, this is what Piaget describes as object permanence. If you are out of sight, you are out of mind. That's what this game Peekaboo is about here. Object permanence. They are learning that if I close my eyes, I think you're not there. But as soon as I open, boom, you're there. That is object permanence. They are learning through cause and effect here, learning that if I do something, something will happen. Well, children at this age are very egocentric. They think everything revolves around them. They believe that you see the world through their eyes. That is a sensory motor stage. Then we have our pre-operational stage, where children are very symbolic in their thinking. Children at this age learn through symbols. They use their imagination during this phase. For example, kids, when they see those arches, those golden arches at McDonald's, their mind starts to say, I know what those arches mean. My French fries, my burgers are there. That is the symbolic thinking. They learn through their curiosity, through their imagination, and they also, in this stage, are very egocentric. They believe that you see the world as they do. Pre-operation stage. As you see here, she's talking to her dolls. They are learning through her. Her imagination is at play here. Pre-operation. Our next phase is concrete operational. This is from our 7 to 11-year-old. Here, children are learning through their problem solving. They are learning through logic. During this phase, you're learning through puzzles, putting pieces together, you're sorting and organizing. Here, you're starting to draw conclusions. Your logic is not all the way formed, but you're learning. You're learning through inductive reasoning. You're learning that you can understand other people's perspectives at this age. You are less egocentric, but you're also learning. You're learning that you're learning conversions. You're learning the thought of if I have a small cup and pour this into the larger cup, even though the cup is larger, it's the same amount of liquid in that cup. This is our concrete operational phase that the children are going through, understanding rules, and a little bit more of the problem solving is occurring during this age here. They also believe, again, as I said, in problem solving, sorting puzzles. They understand rules and order in this phase. That is our concrete operational phase. And our last phase is our formal operational. During this phase, you are 12 and up. During this phase, you are beginning to see yourself as a leader. You're seeing yourself as a future leader. You are understanding more about others. You're less egocentric at this age. You are thinking about other people's thoughts, other people's feelings. You are having more abstract thinking. You can now understand abstract thoughts such as successes, failures. You can understand love and hate. You're more thoughtful here. You can debate here. You're thinking more about futuristic thinking. You are more formal into your thinking. Formal operational thinking is occurring during this phase here. So let's think back to this question that is being asked of us. Read this option again, understanding what we just went through. A social worker is counseling a family concerned about their 8-year-old's recent interest in rules, structure, and fairness. Which stage of Piaget's cognitive development does this align with? Concrete, formal, or pre-operational? So, on reading through this, our next thing after we have thought, what is this question asking us? So now we know we went through Piaget's stages of development, and then we would think, okay, so now we know what each one of these phases stand for. Let's rule one of these out. And so if we want to rule one out, I would go with the one that we know it cannot be. She's 8 years old, interested in rules, structure, and fairness. So which would we rule out? I would go with formal. I would rule out formal operation. She's 8 years old, so that rules her out. And 8 years old, they're not at that stage of development where they're thinking of rules, structure, and fairness. That's not a formal operation. So when we rule that out, that leaves us with concrete and pre-operational. So you think about what would you say is your final answer, A or C? If you think, and now let's see what our correct answer would be. I would say my correct answer would be concrete operational. That to me is what we have described this phase to be. Concrete is between 7 to 11, where we're thinking about our rules, structure, fairness. This age is where you're thinking about logical events, a growing sense of justice, emphasis on rules that best aligns with the example given to us. If we say pre-operational, that's more egocentric, where you're thinking different. Pre-operational is not what was described to us. And that's also between the age of 2 to 7. So hopefully this was helpful to help you understand Piaget's stages of development. And remember, please find us on YouTube where you can like and subscribe and find more videos just like this. Have a great day and thank you for your time.